Vocabio. Master English your way.
Which is a plan to undo some of the altered landscape, to restore.
Importance that Donald Trump can never undo even if he.
Because it's trying to undo the 200 years or so, give or take.
You see that, the complete undoing of all pre-existing political and social and economic.
To be resting on our laurels and saying, well, we can just undo these meritocratic things, because the country that gets.
We're seeing this naming of whiteness, but what needs to occur with that is a real understanding of the country.
As from abiogenesis to a civilization has occurred, as if every one of those experiments failed.
Historical reconsideration should occur, because what we see in Russia.
US presidents in the White House. I mean, it didn't even occur to me at that point that I might end up in the United States.
Minutes to an hour before it occurs to detect the earliest stages of glioblastoma or Parkinson's or any of.
Here is a way to say, I will tell this story and I will ensure that it survives. But it's also a way of.
But at the same time, sort of like ensures that we are attracting companies
in Europe about how do we ensure that our population is fit enough and motivated enough to want.
With the Mansion House Group to ensure that we invest.
What role can you play in ensuring that some of the solutions that you've put forward.
Then we as researchers dare to propose to politicians. Because
rattle off some of the safeguards that are proposed in the nature legislation. First of all, the 6-month prognosis rule.
But it is the spaces on which we're proposing this motion. Now,
continually renewed, I would propose a council of elders from the alumni.
Is being undermined. You both set out to explain and propose what to do about it. So just tell us.
You're not a geographic determinist because you do recognise that Putin is very aware of history, of law.
23-point shift among independents, or we don't, and we recognise that polls are predictive mechanisms, but not absolute, and all of this.
Very, very best I can, and recognise that dark thoughts will arise from time to time.
In the same areas I've always frequented, and suddenly people recognising me, so I was like, okay.
So this is the challenge for him, and it's not just progressives who recognize this reality. I think more and more people in the party, certainly all of the
enormous deluge of information and even greater increase in the pace at which information came.
Of return on investment than around wage increases, and I think that is a kind of major transformation.
Young people, particularly, there's an increase in the suffering of mental health problems from
a party that is about to oppose the $15 minimum wage increase in Congress is going to be seen by the
true, but that increases the to my mind
it, and deliberately in fact choosing music that won't distract me too much, and so I thought, oh, I've
been done, and because they want to distract, they've beaten the hope out of everybody. That
no, that isn't a way of saying that we got distracted and didn't make a show. Let's look.
I think it got brought back into the light partly to distract from the handling of the pandemic.
The populist demagogues is distracting everybody. The populist demagogues are important,
but I ended up getting the confirmed biases of the people I started hanging out with. Those were the
Jerry Ross in Mission Control confirms.
Okay, we copy Plan B and proceed.
The size of this audience tonight confirms what I'm about to say. I think it's fair to say that he is
pigeon feather to confirm his sense that God must exist, because why would so much?
Roger, roll, Challenger.
That's Dick Covey confirming the maneuver. The shuttle stack.
Societies and their regimes, instead they adjust. They're a moving target. And in many ways, this process of adaptation,
reviewing what happens and then adjusting the safeguards accordingly. Until then, it's a pure...
and we're going to adjust. And those, I mean, I can go on.
By the cost of raw materials, they can sort of adjust a bit. So there are lots of reasons why you would go, you know...
Rather precisely what sentencing should be, with some leeway to adjust to the situation and the possibility.
This is the Lex Friedman Podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description.
This is the Lex Friedman podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description. This is the Lex Friedman podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description. This is the Lex Friedman podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description. This is the Lex Friedman podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description.
Healing. So let's kind of assume that Trump is eventually out.
People, when they talk about the working class in this country, tend to implicitly assume that they're talking about a white working class person. That is
example that we went on this rescue ship. I assumed that we were going to rescue people from detention centers.
See, because I always assumed that if I challenge power,
that indeed, clearly we assumed that attack was by them and was an expression of.
That was a 6 from the East German judge here. Anthony Scaramucci, closing argument.
I think I read somewhere that it wasn't just Supreme Court Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, but John Roberts as well.
Online, you've got to know so that they can judge whether or not it's serious. So I don't agree with that. And let me.
In Israel, they did a study that a set of judges, gave much tougher sentences.
And having lots of sexual partners whilst you get judged for the same. It just sounds to me.
Allies, as it were, accusing the perpetrators of anti-Semitism, to which they respond, I'm not anti-Semitic.
Identity politics of tearing society apart.
To the BBC, accusing them, justly, of...
Popular for a period of time to accuse everybody of cultural appropriation if they were sort of,
Interestingly, the United States, that they always accuse you of doing what they're doing. So that the term...
What don't we know about him? What are we hiding? What's the other stuff going on? Well, the truth is, I work...
And that allowed them to say even more, she's a witch hiding out in her house. We grew up in the countryside.
I don't believe, because, kids are very good at hiding things from their parents. I think my parents might have known how to...
We all know that people hide behind the keyboard. People put things in the
deception and inauthenticity. It's not just that people are hiding their identities, it's that they're deceiving people about who they are.
That the people who criticize them normally are also getting it in the neck.
Claims about X, for example, that would criticize Musk's policies, you might face a campaign.
Yeah, someone or anyone from around the world could be criticizing you or trying to wind you up.
Use torture. Not one European government criticized the United States, not one.
Yes, it's been criticized for concentrating on Africa.
You were collecting samples of urine from chimpanzees.
Indirect rule, basically they collected tribute.
Yes.
I then sort of realized that if I really want to connect this, or to connect to people and get people connected to the...
From photographs and collected images. But what is not captured in this...
To trend to this idea of collecting data together.
It's a library which the government has announced as part of the AI Opportunities Action Plan. And,
Criticism, publicly and privately, when I announced that I would be talking with Tucker. For people...
I thought it was interesting, for example, that when he went into hospital recently and they announced the reason.
Or whatever, without, a celebrity announcing, some new condition. But I think it's still
positive. We also just saw Blockstream announce a large fundraising round where they're going to...
But illuminating. I hope to continue talking to many world leaders for 2 to 3 hours in this way.
By the White House, we will still continue our services. And that is absolutely unprecedented. Now,
in America. After Fox, he has continued to host big, impactful interviews and shows.
PGs like Procter & Gamble can also continue to sell on Shopify. I think the thing that most people get wrong...
The point of being itself is to continue to do things, including making yourself persist.
We're still like three years away from developing an atomic bomb when they actually got it.
And so the family unit develops in response to that. So the bonds within.
Given your work on the personal war, just to develop that, I mean, you write about The Great Illusion, the famous book written on the eve of the...
Finds that as it develops,
as it discovers more things, so more and more questions.
When you're a child, before, let's say, the age of 13, you can develop accentless speech in the new country. But after about 13...
Very brave, very brave. I like that you led with your chin on that one, Peter. Well, let's...
Fantastic. Obviously, the Louvre, now led by a female director. It's
been done from those who are leading Black Lives Matter, both in the United States and here, our sisters.
Votes counted. And Trump is leading by 10% at midnight.
I purposefully don't get into the politics that lead up to that, or the national security maneuvers, or the posturing, or
Vocabio, available in Google Play. Download, discover, improve your English.